All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Apparently I now have to go find the story. Let's go this way.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Apparently I managed to restart the game again. Yay!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Hello.
Hi!
What are you live streaming, group?
Stanley Parable.
Oh, you download? Send me the link. Wait, is it what, YouTube or Twitch?
Aha!
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it
On
comes.
YouTube.
Yeah. But I can't
No,
No,
export
wait,
from
never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way
Twitch
and
to
retrace
YouTube
our
anymore
steps.
For some reason.
Okay, let me see if I can find you on my subscriptions.
Now
And
this...
then-
Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so.
You know,
I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
it's that.
Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
He restarted the game again.
All right, I've got a
You won
solution.
the game.
This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on. You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay, now if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa.
Hello.
Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
What's everybody
You know
up
what?
to?
I think
Playing
what we
Stanley
need
Parable.
right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Cool.
I was working and I'm dying here. I'm dead. So if you can feel that. Alright, so you feel that's a little potential for that.
I don't.
You don't.
No, I don't.
Do you not say it? Do you not say she was
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Prime. I've just logged into.
I've just got that.
Great. Cut the music.
MK
Go back and look at that fern. Stanley,
yes, okay,
this
so it's fine
fern
now.
will be very important later in the story.
Prime, what are you going to be doing?
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss
Is it
anything.
is Prime really quiet or is it just me now?
He is quite quiet.
Okay.
So, do we have plans
Wait,
to
what?
go
We're back at the office?
Colorado in the
No,
weekend?
no. Line, you do know
Are you
we're
gonna
looking for the
see-
Stanley
For
Parable,
medicinal
right?
purposes,
The
I
story?
think it's to
Is
everybody.
any of this ringing a bell?
Yeah. It's
So I
not
think you have
medicinal,
to
it's for
recommend this for
everybody.
Oh, I thought I read somewhere that it was just to be used as medicine.
No. I read the opposite. The red was for everybody, Skip.
Oh,
Okay.
think
no,
we
What about-
no, not again, Line. How could you have done
What
this to
about
us?
tourists?
And after we
Because,
trusted you, after
Holland
everything
had
we've
a
been
thing
through,
where they weren't doing
you...
it for tourists,
Oh,
they
I
were
can't
doing it
take
for
this
residents.
anymore. To hell with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Restart.
Arg.
Oh, Nick Griffin's bankrupt. That's quite funny.
I know.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us?
All right,
We're
I have-
intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious, Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Right, Prime.
I'm back.
Ah,
Now,
I've
yes,
logged in
this is
to
exciting.
Warframe.
Just me and Stanley forging a new
I haven't got a
path, a
fucking
new
clue
story. Well, it could be
about
anything.
anymore.
What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Who?
what in the butt?
Who bankrupt?
Nick Griffin, he's the leader of a political party in the UK which are effectively racist.
Oh right, the B what? BM. Not
The
that-
British
not that-
Nationalist Party.
Yeah. That's totally like PNR in Portugal. Wait, yes, that's the PNR. Fucking hell.
Oh, no, not you again.
So
Stanley,
now-
I'd also
now what
like to
is going
veto
to
the
happen
line from
to
having
these
any role in our
racists?
awesome new story.
Well,
No
no,
lines
he's
or
saying that
monitor
he can
rooms.
still be
Just
an
don't
MP,
acknowledge it.
so-
We should be fine.
Dino said yes for Left Dead.
Cool.
Bot has his speakers muted, but I'm assuming he's still up for it as well.
Yeah, just spoken. Probably on a call or something.
I've told her to ask Jaw, because then he'll...
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important, we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin.
Cool,
So
but says
starting
what
from the
time
right, let us
regarding Left
ask,
4 Dead? So
will
you're pretty
taking
sure,
the
yeah?
right door
Yep.
lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Mank says tomorrow.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're
I'll
telling
put a
me
lobby up.
that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart
Oh.
the game what, eight
Well, what's next? Just 9
times?
o'clock.
That's really how all this
Sure.
goes?
Do
It's
not
all
mind. It's in like 19
determined?
minutes, so.
So now, according to the schedule, I
right.
restart again.
Hi.
Then what? Am I just supposed to
I
forget?
found myself in
Well,
a
what if
bit
I
of
don't
a
want to
collision
forget?
future
My
because of
mind goes
my
blank
job.
simply because it's written
Sticking your
here on
penis
this,
in things
this
is not
thing.
as a solution, MK.
wall.
No, it's not a solution.
Well,
The problem, I
who consulted
might
me?
have to work
Why don't I
on
get to decide?
Sundays.
Why don't I get a say in all of this?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the
Prime.
game to keep
Hi.
restarting. I don't want to
Mods.
forget
How do they
what's
work
going
again?
on. I don't want to be
not a
trapped like
fucking
this.
clue.
I
Which
won't
ones are the mods?
restart the game. I won't do
Cards.
it. I won't
Like,
do
you
it.
can
I
Oh,
transmute
won't
right, yeah, you
do
fusion.
it.
assign them onto items and it has that effect on the
Okay, what's the
item.
transmutation fusion
Just
thing
gonna switch
about?
channels.
Channel switched. User was moved to your channel.
And the time return stopped. Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if all of his co-workers were gone, What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace? Its subtle charm? No. Stanley knew it was something deeper. Something darker. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need...
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried. Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him, and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumb. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway. Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so
User left
much.
your channel.
You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.